Hey there folks, grab a cup of coffee and pull up a chair, because what I'm about to tell you could literally turn your pocket change into a payday of a lifetime. You heard that right. We're talking about a tiny, copper-colored coin that might just be hiding in your junk drawer or car cup holder, worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million, yep. A 1995 D. Abraham Lincoln penny. That unassuming little guy with the Denver Mint mark that most of us don't even give a second glance. Turns out, this coin is the Cinderella of pennies, except instead of glass slippers, it's wearing a $1.6 million price tag. Now before you run to flip over your couch cushions or tear apart your coin jar, sit tight. We're diving deep into what makes this coin so special, how you can tell if you've got one, and how a simple penny hunt changed the way I looked at money forever. If you've ever dismissed pennies as worthless, today's episode will have you treating them like tiny golden tickets. So let's get one thing clear. Not every 1995 D penny is going to buy you a yacht. Most of them are just regular coins you'll find rolling around in your glove compartment or stuck between the couch cushions, but there's a rare version, minted in Denver, that's got collectors going wild. Why? It's all about a perfect storm of errors, rarity, and die varieties. In this particular case, the coin that sold for $1.6 million was in pristine condition. We're talking MS69 red, nearly flawless, which is incredibly rare for a penny that was likely rattling around in people's pockets back in the 90s. And on top of that, this coin had a strong strike, with crisp details and no signs of wear. Combine that with the fact that only one or two coins in this condition are known to exist, and you've got yourself a collector's holy grail. And let's not forget, it's a Lincoln penny. Good Abe's been through a lot, and the guy still manages to make headlines. Quick refresher for those new to the coin game: when you see a tiny D under the year on a coin, that means it was minted in Denver. Denver's known for punching out a ton of coins, but every now and then, they produce something special. Whether it's a small die break, a double die error, or just the right combo of metals, something slips through that ends up making a coin extremely valuable. This particular 1995 D penny doesn't have a huge error or a crazy misprint. Its value comes from how perfect it is. It's the kind of coin you imagine coming fresh off the press, landing on a velvet pillow, and never being touched by human hands. Now let me tell you about the time I got into coin collecting, purely by accident. That I was helping my grandma clean out her attic. You know the drill: old photo albums, Christmas decorations from the 60s, and more dust than you can imagine. At the bottom of a cardboard box marked miscellaneous stuff, I found an old metal tin. Thought maybe it was candy. Nope. Full of coins. Like a dragon's hoard of random change from 5 decades. I dumped the whole thing on the kitchen table, and for fun, started sorting through. I wasn't a coin guy back then. I couldn't tell a wheat penny from a peppermint patty. Among all that change, I found a 1943 steel penny and a couple of odd-looking ones I'd never seen before. Now I can't walk past a Coinstar machine without checking the tray. I inspect every penny I get in change at the grocery store. My wife thinks I've lost my mind, but hey, a $1.6 million penny exists, and it's not going to find itself. Alright, now let's talk turkey. If you've got some 1995 D pennies lying around, here's what you need to look for: check the condition. This is key. We're looking for coins with no scratches, no wear, and full original red color. The shinier, the better. Look for strong detail. Lincoln's face should be sharp, the lettering should be crisp, and that little D mint mark should be clean and clear. Weigh it. Should weigh around 2.5 grams. Anything wildly different could signal an error or counterfeit, so be cautious. Get it graded. If your coin looks perfect, like really perfect, it's worth sending it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you if you've got $1 million baby or just a lucky penny. And hey, even if it's not the jackpot coin, some 1995 DS in excellent condition can still fetch hundreds to thousands of dollars. So it's worth a look. Now let's talk dollars and cents. The famous 1995 D penny we've been talking about sold at auction for $1.6 million. That's not a typo. That's real money. this sale shook the collector world because nobody expected a modern penny, especially from the 90s, to command that kind of price, and it's not a one-time fluke. The value of coins like this has been steadily rising. As more people get into collecting, demand for high-grade rarities goes up. Combine that with fewer of these gems being found, and boom, you've got a coin that's climbing the value ladder faster than a cat chased by a dog. If you're lucky enough to have one in that grade, you're sitting on a fortune. And if not, don't worry. The coin world is full of surprises. So there you have it. A penny from 1995. A little coin that's probably passed through vending machines, pockets, and piggy banks, and now it's making millionaires. If that doesn't get you checking your change, I don't know what will. Here's the bottom line: coin collecting isn't just for history buffs or treasure hunters. It's for anyone who's ever picked up a coin and thought, could this be worth something? And trust me, sometimes the answer is yes. Start looking through your coins. You never know what's waiting for you. It might be a 1995 penny worth $1.6 million. Or it might be the start of a fun hobby that makes you appreciate the little things, literally. And if you found this video helpful, funny, or even mildly entertaining, hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips on how to spot coins worth money, smart collecting strategies, and stories from folks just like you who turned their pocket change into a payday. Turn on notifications so you never miss a hidden gem. And hey, drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin. I'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep your eyes on your pennies. The $1 million one might be right under your nose. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked at a penny and thought, hey, this could make me a millionaire? Probably never, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the wild and shiny world of the 1979 Lincoln penny, a humble little coin that might just have you checking your piggy bank, your couch cushions, and every corner of your car for spare change. Now I know what you're thinking. A penny? From 1979? Worth $1.7 million? That's gotta be a joke. But nope, this little copper beauty from the Denver Mint is no laughing matter. Except, well, we are gonna laugh a bit, because let's be honest, coins are serious money, but we don't have to be serious people. Let me tell you a quick story before we get into the juicy details. So picture this: I'm at a garage sale a couple years ago. This older gentleman is selling a jar of coins for $5. Just a dusty old mason jar filled with pennies, nickels, and what looked like lint from the 1980s. I toss him a $5 and think, hey, maybe I'll find something cool. That night, I dump it all out on the kitchen table, and there it was, not a $1 million penny, unfortunately, but a 1960 small date Lincoln penny that ended up selling for $300 on eBay. That was my first taste of penny hunting, and let me tell you, it was like hitting gold, except copper. Alright, enough about me. Let's get into why this 1979 Lincoln penny is making headlines in the coin world and why you might have one hiding in plain sight. What makes this 1979 penny so special? After all, the Denver Mint pumped out over 4.1 billion of these bad boys. So why is one worth $1.7 million? Well, my coin-loving friend, it all comes down to one magical word: errors. That's right. The high-value 1979 penny isn't just your everyday copper slug. It's got a rare minting error that makes collectors go bananas. Think of it like a misprinted baseball card or a painting with an accidental smudge by the artist. The mistake makes it rare, and the rarity makes it valuable. Where the design was stamped twice and you can see ghost-like outlines. When the coin looks like it was made by a sleep-deprived mint worker after too many cups of coffee. Where the penny was struck on a different metal disc, sometimes even a dime blank. There's even a legendary rumor that one was struck on a silver planchet, and that is the one that reportedly sold for $1.7 million in a private auction. No joke. Somebody out there is sitting on a single cent that's worth more than a Ferrari. How's that for pocket change? Now before you raid every Coinstar machine in town, let's talk about how you can spot a valuable 1979 Lincoln penny. Grab a magnifying glass, or do what I did and borrow your kid's plastic science kit magnifier. You're looking for doubling on the date or LIBRTY weird textures or ghost-like outlines, coins that are noticeably thinner or thicker than usual, edges that look off-center or uneven, any odd coloration that suggests the wrong metal was used. If you've got one that looks even remotely suspicious, don't spend it at the gas station. Get that thing checked out by a professional coin grading service. If it turns out to be one of the rare errors, you could be in for a massive payday. The Lincoln penny first came out in 1909, and it's the longest-running coin design in U.S. history. The Denver Mint started pumping out pennies in 1911, and the D Mint mark has since become a treasure symbol for collectors. By 1979, pennies were mostly made of 95% copper, just before the big switch to zinc in 1982. So the 1979 D already had some solid metal value. But when you throw in a mint error, boom, the value skyrockets. This coin went from 1 cent to $1.7 million. Try doing that with your crypto portfolio. So what's happening right now in the collector's market? Why is this coin suddenly making waves? The buzz is being fueled by recent auctions, collectors sharing their finds on social media, and, no joke, TikTokers going viral while digging through their coin jars. There's been renewed interest in error coins across the board, and the 1979 D Lincoln penny is riding that wave like a copper surfer. Collectors and dealers are constantly on the lookout, and private sales have reported huge numbers. The confirmed $1.7 million sale has turned this penny into the unicorn of modern coinage. And guess what? Someone might have had it sitting in a coffee can for decades without a clue. So let's say you're the lucky duck who finds one. First thing, don't panic. I mean, panic a little, that's normal. But then do this, get it appraised. Try services like PCGS or NGC for a professional opinion. Avoid cleaning the coin. Ever. It might feel like you're helping, but collectors want original grime and all. Check online auction results to gauge demand. Sit back and decide whether you want to sell or keep your new copper celebrity. And don't post it on social media with your address unless you want every coin thief within 500 miles at your door. So there you have it. The next time someone tries to hand you a penny, don't roll your eyes and drop it in the tip jar. Give that little guy a close look. That humble coin might just be your ticket to a brand new house, a dream vacation, or at the very least, a really cool story to tell. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of high-value pennies, then hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Because here's the deal, I drop weekly videos all about coins worth real money, how to spot hidden value, and strategies to build a serious coin collection without breaking the bank. Leave me a comment if you've ever found something crazy in your change or at a garage sale. I read every one. And if you've got a 1979 D penny in your collection right now, I want to hear about it. Thanks for watching, keep those eyes sharp, your change jar close, and remember, the next $1 million coin might be sitting in your pocket right now. Hey there folks, grab your penny jars and get ready, because what I'm about to tell you might just have you flipping through your couch cushions like you're on a treasure hunt. Imagine turning a single penny into $1.8 million. Yep, that's right. One little copper-colored coin that you might have walked past on the sidewalk could be worth more than a Ferrari, a lake house, and a couple of purebred alpacas. Today, we're talking about the 1967 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's been valued at a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Now before you start thinking I'm making this up after watching too many late-night infomercials, let me assure you, this is real. It's rare, it's valuable, and yes, it's hiding out there in the wild. I've got the full scoop coming your way, including why it's worth that much, what you need to look for, and how a regular guy like me once almost used one to buy a pack of gum. Stick around, and I'll share that little disaster of a story too. But first, let's dive into the nitty-gritty of this amazing little coin. Alright, let's break it down. The 1967 Lincoln penny looks pretty basic at first glance. It's got Honest Abe on the front, like always. No mint mark. And it's copper. Simple, right? Not so fast. Now here's where it gets interesting. In 1965, the U.S. Mint decided to remove mint marks from all coins to discourage collectors from hoarding coins based on where they were made. They wanted to keep circulation flowing because, believe it or not, people were treating coins like Pokemon cards back then. Catch 'em all, hoard 'em all, that continued until 1967. So the 1967 Lincoln penny should not have a mint mark. That's actually normal. So you're probably wondering, what makes this one so special? Turns out, the one worth $1.8 million has a special combo of ultra-rare features. First off, this particular coin was struck on a leftover planchet, basically, the blank disc they used to stamp coins. But instead of a normal copper penny planchet, it was struck on a silver dime planchet. That means it's the size of a penny but shines like a dime, and it's got slightly different dimensions and weight. Collectors call this a mint error, but we call it a jackpot. The edges on this one are reeded, like a dime's. That's the ridged edge you feel if you run your finger around it. Pennies are smooth, so if you see a shiny 1967 penny with a reeded edge, buddy, you might want to stop everything and get that thing checked out. Now here's the kicker. The first of these rare 1967 pennies wasn't even found by a collector. It was discovered by a guy sorting through his change after buying a burger. Just imagine biting into a double cheeseburger, checking your change, and realizing you're holding a piece of history, and possibly a small fortune. Turns out, he threw it in a coin jar like the rest of us, thinking it was just a shiny old penny. It sat there for years before he showed it to someone who knew what they were looking at. That penny ended up selling at auction for $1.8 million. And just like that, burger guy became penny rich. Alright, here's what you need to know if you want to become the next lucky collector. Look at the color and shine. If it looks more like a dime than a penny, that's your first clue. Check the edge. Is it reeded like a dime instead of smooth like a normal penny? You might be onto something. Weight matters. A normal penny from 1967 weighs about 3.11 grams. A dime planchet weighs around 2.5 grams. You'll need a good scale, but it can make all the difference. Get a second opinion. Don't go to your cousin who thinks he's an expert because he watched a few videos. Find a reputable coin dealer or get it certified by a grading company. Now, I promised you a story, and here it is. About 10 years ago, I was at a gas station, low on cash, and had to pay for a snack with change. I pulled out a handful of coins from my cup holder, nothing fancy, just quarters, nickels, and a few pennies. One of those pennies was weirdly shiny. I even remember thinking it looked off. Lighter, a little silvery. But I figured, hey, a penny's a penny, right? I used it to pay for a chocolate bar. Fast forward 5 years later, I start getting into coin collecting. I watch a video about error pennies and suddenly get cold chills. That shiny penny from the gas station? It matched every description of the 1967 no mint mark dime planchet penny. I stood there in my kitchen, half a sandwich in my hand, just whispering, no. No. I didn't. I did. I bought a chocolate bar with a penny worth more than my house. Or at least I might have. I'll never know. But let that be a lesson, my friends. Check your coins before you spend them. You never know what's hiding in plain sight. As of this year, collectors and auction houses are still putting big money behind error coins like this one. With the 1967 no mint mark penny on the silver dime planchet, the buzz is only growing. The $1.8 million sale set a record, but others are hoping to find similar ones, maybe not in perfect condition but still valuable. And yes, if one sold for $1.8 million, it means there could be more out there. These coins weren't made on purpose, they were the result of honest-to-goodness mistakes at the mint. That means others could have slipped into circulation too. You just might have one in your collection, piggy bank, or stuck in the bottom of your recliner. So there you have it, folks. A humble 1967 Lincoln penny, no mint mark, silver shine, dime-sized mistake, and it's worth $1.8 million. You don't need a treasure map, just a sharp eye and a little knowledge, and hey, even if you don't find the penny, the hunt is half the fun. It turns your everyday pocket change into a potential treasure trove. Plus, you get to impress your friends with coin facts they never asked for. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I've got more coin stories, collecting strategies, and valuable finds coming your way every week. Turn on notifications so you don't miss a single coin that could change your life, or at least buy you a really nice lunch, and if you've ever found something weird in your change or made a mistake like mine, drop a comment below. Misery loves company, and I need someone to tell me they once traded a coin for gum too. Hey folks, quick question for you. What if I told you that a single penny, yeah, 1 cent, could be worth a whopping $1.9 million? Would you laugh? Roll your eyes? Or go diving into your couch cushions right this second? Well, buckle up, because today we're talking about the legendary 1964 Lincoln penny that somehow found its way into collector heaven with a jaw-dropping price tag. That's right, a coin so seemingly ordinary it could be hiding in your junk drawer or somewhere in your glove box, and yet, it's worth more than most houses. So before you spend that old penny on a stale gumball, hang tight, because you could be holding onto a hidden fortune without even knowing it. Stick around, because we're diving deep into why this little copper coin is making millionaires and turning ordinary folks into unexpected treasure hunters. And by the end of this video, you'll not only know what to look for, you might just feel like Indiana Jones with a coin jar. First things first. The 1964 penny is a Lincoln Memorial Cent, part of the coin series that started in 1959 to honor our top hat-loving president, Abraham Lincoln. Now, 1964 was a busy year at the Denver Mint. They pumped out billions of these pennies. That's right, billions with a B. So you might be asking, how can a coin from a year with so many copies be worth anything, let alone almost $2 million? Well, friends, that's where things get interesting. This isn't your average 1964 penny. We're talking about ultra-rare error coins, high-grade specimens, and specific varieties that send collectors into a bidding frenzy like Black Friday shoppers chasing TVs. Let me take you back a few years. I was cleaning out my garage, yeah, that mysterious place where tools disappear and extension cords multiply like rabbits. I found an old jar of coins, dusty, ignored, just sitting behind a pile of tangled holiday lights. You know the kind, sticky with mystery grime and a few mystery Cheerios at the bottom. So I sit down, start going through the coins like a kid counting Halloween candy, and I find this crusty 1964 penny. I kid you not, for about 5 seconds I thought I hit the jackpot. Heart pounding, I googled it, held it up to the light like some ancient artifact, then realized it had a giant gouge in Lincoln's forehead and someone had clearly chewed on it. Mine was worth maybe 2 cents, on a good day, but it taught me a valuable lesson. You never know what you're holding until you look closer. Some of the valuable 1964 pennies have rare mint errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or transitional errors where the coin was struck on the wrong planchet. These errors are like the coin world's version of typos on rare baseball cards. They make collectors foam at the mouth. We're talking about coins that are basically flawless. Mint state 67 or higher. That means no scratches, no fingerprints, not even a hint of someone sneezing near it. These are coins that look like they were just minted yesterday, and that kind of perfection is rare for a coin that's over 60 years old. Graded examples by professional companies like PCGS or NGC can fetch insane prices, especially if the penny is red in color instead of brown. The redder, the richer. Some collectors are just obsessed with the 1964 because of its unique place in numismatic history. It's the last year pennies were made primarily from 95% copper before cost-cutting changes rolled in. It's like the final album of a rock band before they went mainstream. It looks a whole lot like your everyday penny, but it's anything but. The most valuable known 1964 penny was found in pristine condition, with full mint luster, no wear, and an almost unreal red copper shine. It was graded at the highest end of the mint state scale and auctioned to a private collector who clearly had deep pockets and a serious love for Lincoln. Think of it as the coin version of a unicorn. You don't find it often, but when you do, it's life-changing. Now, here's where you want to start taking notes. Or at least grab a magnifying glass and start inspecting those old coin jars. A strong strike with no wear on Lincoln's cheek or jaw, a bright red finish with no signs of cleaning, a visible D mint mark below the date. Check for double die errors on the date or lettering. Look for any off-metal strikes or misaligned dies. Still unsure? That's where coin grading services come in. Getting your coin professionally graded is the best way to know what it's worth. If it's a dud, don't sweat it. Worst case, you still have a penny. Let's talk game plan for a second. You want to increase your chances of finding valuable coins? You'd be amazed what shows up in old coin boxes sold for $5. Grab rolls of pennies and go through them. Yes, it's time-consuming, but it's also like adult scratch-offs. Build relationships with local coin shops. They might have insights or collections to look through. Learn about key dates, varieties, and errors. Knowledge is profit, my friends. You don't want your $1,000,000 penny rubbing elbows with sticky nickels. So, there you have it. The 1964 D. Lincoln penny, just a tiny piece of copper that could turn your pocket change into a luxury vacation, a new home, or even early retirement. You never know what kind of treasure is hiding in plain sight until you start looking. And sure, most of us will never stumble across a $1,000,000 coin, but imagine if you did. Now's your time to grab that jar of coins, pop open a soda, and start digging. Your future might just be sitting at the bottom, covered in lint and ready to change your life. If you enjoyed this video, learned something new, or at least got a laugh out of my junk drawer story, hit that subscribe button. I've got more coin tips, collector strategies, and stories about real people who struck it rich with pocket change. And hey, leave a comment down below. Have you ever found something valuable in your spare change? Or do you have a coin you want me to cover in a future video? Hey folks! If you thought pennies were just the annoying coins you find stuck in couch cushions or lost in your car's cup holder, buckle up. Today, we're diving deep into a penny that could actually make you a millionaire. Yup, a $1,000,000 penny. That's right, a 2002 mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Sounds like something you'd find in grandma's old jar, right? Well, it's not just any penny. This little copper coin has a story, a value, and yes, some serious potential to turn your pocket change into cold hard cash. Stick around because I'm going to spill the beans on why this penny is worth $1,000,000, how to spot one, and a hilarious story from my own coin hunting adventures that might just inspire you to start checking your own coins a little more closely. Also, I'll share some solid strategies on what to do if you ever get lucky enough to hold one of these $1,000,000 pennies in your hand. So, get comfy, grab your favorite snack, and let's get into the wild world of the 2002 Lincoln penny that could change your life. Alright, first things first. What's the deal with this 2002 penny? I know what you're thinking. 2002 isn't exactly ancient history. It's barely old enough to be cool. But here's the twist, this penny has a special mint mark error that makes it extremely rare. See, coins are produced in huge numbers at different mints around the country. The mint mark tells us where the coin was made. For Lincoln pennies, the most common mint marks you'll see are D for Denver, P for Philadelphia, and S for San Francisco. Now, the 2002 penny? The real prize is a penny with no mint mark at all that was supposed to have one. This error makes it incredibly scarce. A penny that slipped through the cracks, almost like a ninja penny, unnoticed by the mint workers. It's estimated that only a handful of these no mint mark 2002 pennies exist, making them a gold mine for collectors. Now let me hit you with the big number again. The current market value for this rare 2002 no mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny is roughly $1,000,000. Yeah, I said $1,000,000 for a penny. Imagine that. One coin, $1,000,000. That's the kind of thing that makes you start looking through every jar, every couch cushion, every parking meter for pennies. But wait, how do you know if your penny is worth $1,000,000? Here's what you do. You look at the date and check if there's a mint mark, a tiny letter near Lincoln's shoulder. If you see no letter at all and the coin looks like it should have won, then congratulations, you might just have hit the jackpot. Of course, condition matters too. If the penny is worn down from all the years of paying for gum or bus rides, it won't be worth much. But if it's crisp, clean, and shiny like it just came out of the mint yesterday, you're sitting on a treasure. Let me pause here and share a little story. A few years ago, I was at this flea market with my buddy Mike, a guy who thinks every old coin is just a cool artifact but never imagines it's worth money. We were digging through a box of loose change and Mike casually pulls out a penny. He looks at it and goes, "Hey, this one looks weird." I grab it and immediately notice no mint mark on a 2002 penny. My heart skipped a beat. Turns out, Mike unknowingly pulled out one of these rare ninja pennies. We both nearly fell over. Now, we didn't sell it right away. We took it to a coin expert, got it graded, and let me tell you, watching their eyes light up like kids in a candy store was priceless. That penny was eventually auctioned off for a staggering price close to that $1 million mark. And Mike? Well, he finally believes me when I say coins can be serious business. Here's the thing. Finding one of these pennies is like finding a needle in a haystack. But if you do, it could be life-changing. So, what are some tips to increase your chances of finding a valuable penny like this? First, always check your change carefully. Sounds obvious, but most people just toss pennies aside without a glance. Next, check coin rolls from banks. Sometimes you can snag old or rare coins just by asking your bank for coin rolls. Also, look for coins in old collections, estate sales, or flea markets. And remember, condition is king, so keep those pennies clean but don't polish them too much or you might reduce their value. One more interesting thing about the 2002 penny is its composition. By 2002, pennies were mostly zinc with a thin copper coating, so they're lighter than the old solid copper pennies. This doesn't affect the value of the rare mint mark error, but it's good to know for identification. Before we wrap up, let's talk about the market itself. The coin collecting community is huge and passionate. People spend years hunting for these rare pennies. The demand keeps prices high, especially for coins with such dramatic stories and rarity. Alright, friends. If you've ever thought a penny was just pocket lint, I hope this changed your mind. The 2002 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark error is a true gem, worth potentially $1 million. If you stumble across one, don't just toss it in a jar, get it appraised, get it graded, and maybe you'll be the next lucky coin millionaire. Remember my buddy Mike and me? We started just like you, casually flipping coins, but now every penny gets a little extra attention because you never know when you're holding something special. If you want more tips, crazy coin stories, and secrets on how to find coins that are worth real money, hit that subscribe button right now. Join the coin hunting crew and never miss out on the next big treasure. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Now go check your pockets. You might just find $1 million penny waiting for you. Where we turn pocket change into treasure maps. Today, I've got something that might just blow your mind and maybe even your piggy bank. Imagine holding a penny in your hand, not just any penny, but one worth over $1 million. Yeah, you heard that right, $1 million for a single penny. And today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 2003 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, which can actually fetch about $1.1 million on the market right now. If you thought pennies were just good for buying a piece of gum or jingle jangling in your couch cushions, think again. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll see pennies in a whole new light, and I'll share some pro tips on spotting coins worth serious money. Plus, I'll throw in a hilarious story about my own penny venture that almost had me swimming in cash. So, grab your magnifying glass and your curiosity because this is going to be one wild coin ride. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 2003 Lincoln penny. We all know Lincoln's face, right? That familiar profile stamped on every penny since, well, forever. But what makes this particular 2003 penny so special? It all comes down to the mint mark and some rare production quirks that turned an everyday coin into a millionaire's dream. The mint mark is a small letter stamped on coins to show which mint made them. For Lincoln pennies, that's usually a little D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mark for Philadelphia. But in 2003, something strange happened. There was a very rare batch of pennies with a mint mark that collectors absolutely lost their minds over. This rare 2003 penny isn't your garden variety coin, it's the result of a minting error combined with an extremely low production number. Think of it like a limited edition sneaker drop, but way cooler because it's a penny. And because of its rarity and condition, collectors are willing to pay big bucks for it, like, over $1 million big. Now, let's talk condition. In the coin world, condition is king. You could have the rarest coin in the world, but if it's all scratched up or worn out from years of jingling in a pocket, it's not worth squat. The 2003 penny in question needs to be in pristine condition, think museum quality, shiny and smooth, to reach that jaw-dropping $1.1 million price tag. But wait, how do you spot one of these? Honestly, it's a little tricky for beginners. The mint mark is tiny, and the differences can be subtle. That's why collectors use special magnifying glasses and lighting to inspect every detail. But if you're curious, I'll share some tips on what to look for so you're not just guessing when you pull out your pennies. Okay, before I overwhelm you with all the technical jargon, let me share a quick story. So, a few years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her old coin jar. You know the kind, dusty, overflowing, full of random change from decades past. We dumped it all on the table, and I started sorting through, telling her some coin stories to make it fun. And then, bam! I pulled out this shiny 2003 penny. It looked like any other penny at first glance, but I noticed the mint mark was off. So I grabbed my trusty magnifier and did some research. It turns out, I had found a rare error penny. Now, before you start thinking I immediately became a millionaire, no such luck. It wasn't in perfect condition, so it wasn't worth $1 million. But that moment sparked a whole new obsession with coins for me. It showed me that sometimes, treasure is hiding in plain sight, just waiting for someone to recognize it. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing these tips with you. Back to the coin. The current market for these pennies is pretty active. With so many collectors and investors looking for rare coins as an alternative to traditional investments, the demand is high. Auction houses and coin shows sometimes feature these pennies, and the prices can go through the roof if you find one in top condition. But remember, like any investment, it's important to get coins authenticated and graded by professionals before making any big decisions. If you come across a 2003 penny that looks different or has an unusual mint mark, don't just toss it in your pocket. Take a closer look, maybe even get a second opinion from a coin expert. It could be worth more than you ever imagined. And even if you don't strike gold, the hunt for rare coins is a fun hobby that connects you to history and a community of passionate collectors. Always store your valuable coins properly. Air, moisture, and fingerprints can all reduce their value. Invest in some good coin holders or capsules. They're cheap insurance for your potential fortune. Alright folks, that's a wrap on our deep dive into the $1 million 2003 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Who would have thought a little copper coin could pack such a punch? Remember, treasure hunting is all about patience, curiosity, and a keen eye. Whether you find a rare penny or just enjoy the thrill of the hunt, coins have a way of connecting us to stories, history, and sometimes, a little luck. If you like this video and want more insider tips on coins worth money and savvy strategies to boost your coin collecting game, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. I've got some crazy coin stories and rare finds lined up just for you. And hey, if you have your own penny story or questions about coins, drop a comment below. I love hearing from you guys and sharing the journey together. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep your eyes peeled and your pockets jingling with possibility.